How is everybody on this Wednesday evening? I've had a good day, super busy, but very productive, and I'll still be working a few more hours tonight. But I did take a break a little bit early this afternoon because my next door neighbors asked me to come over and meet their new baby. So they had a baby boy. This is their first. The baby was born Sunday morning, and cute as a button, healthy, so nice, so nice. So I just did a quick visit with them. You know how it is when new parents and first few days with a new baby, it can be overwhelming and they're so tired and whatnot, but Natalie's mom is there staying with them for a couple weeks and helping out, and it was so fun to get to know her because she's from England, and she and her husband also now spend part of their time in Florida and go back and forth between England and Florida. So very interesting woman, super nice, and of course it's always fun to hold a new baby. There's just something about new babies, kind of, I don't know, what is it? Bring hope to the world, maybe? Yeah, just I've got classes to go that I've been sorting, and I hope to get those in the mail. I was hoping for this afternoon, but hopefully by tomorrow morning. I am going away for a girlfriend's weekend, and I know this is crazy. I just got home from vacation, right? But I had this craft weekend planned with 6 other people for this weekend before my brother-in-law invited me to go on their family vacation with them. So, you know, I'm doing it. So it's just been a crazy week, but I'm leaving tomorrow, probably around 11, and I'll be back on Sunday. And on the way back, I'll stop in Cincinnati and see Emily, hopefully. And, you know, it's all good. And we craft while we're there. Many of them are on my team. They started as customers, became team members. And through all that, we've just been become very, very good friends. And that is one of the best things about being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I had no idea all the relationships I would build and friends I would make, simply because so many of us share the interest of stamps, ink, and paper. So that's a really wonderful thing. Okay, on what's today? I have my days all mixed up. Yesterday, I did, instead of Monday Facebook Live, I did it yesterday. We made this card, and I demonstrated the no line watercolor technique. So if you missed it, take a look at the video here on Stampin' Peace with Mary Knabe. It will be up on my blog and YouTube sometime tomorrow. And with that, I'll have all the dimensions. I love how this one turned out. This is, I had already watercolored this one before the live, and I just showed everybody the circle, and I said, now when I stop the live, I'm going to go ahead and finish this one. And I used that, what's it called? Gingham Cottage Designer Series paper. It's one of those mega packs. Gosh, what do you get in there? I don't even know. It's so cool though. It's in the annual catalog, I believe. No. It might be in the, it's in the mini. I think it's in the mini. You know what? I don't know. It's late and I'm tired. I don't know if it's in the annual or mini. Maybe one of you demonstrators watching can help me out. But the Gingham Cottage paper is so fun. Look at this. I mean, talk about versatile. You can use it for holidays, for babies, birthdays, thinking of you, summer, fall, winter, spring, all of it. I love it, but it's one of those mega packs, and it has 48 sheets of DSP and all these fabulous colors. And large gingham prints and small gingham prints. I just love it. I wasn't sure if I was getting it, but that was the first I used it yesterday, and I love it. So if you want to learn about no-line watercoloring technique, see the video here on Stampin' Piece with Mary Knabe, or wait for it to pop up on my blog, stampinpiece.com, tomorrow, or my YouTube channel. I also want to put out a reminder, or maybe a first notice for some of you that haven't been with me this week, of my Hello Harvest class to go. With it, you're going to get, well, you can purchase option 1 with the whole Hello Harvest bundle. You'll also get a pack of the craft note cards and envelopes. So craft like this. There's a package of 20 note cards and envelopes, plus this nice gift box. Now in here, I already have 10 cards that I've made up. I'll show you 2 of them. Right here. Those are 2 of the cards made with this class. But you're actually going to make a total of 20, 2 each of 10 designs. And all of the products, all of the supplies used are from the Rustic Harvest suite. So it's fabulous. You'll also get a package of the leaf labels and amber gems, which are pretty awesome. And I have to say, I just think this might be, I told my team, this might be my most favorite class, fall class I've ever done. And I really love the gift box. So you can make up all 20 cards, 2 each of 10 designs, keep 10 for yourself, package the other 10 in this pretty box and give it away as a gift. Or you can use the box to store your cards in. You can keep the box for yourself. You can package up the other 10 cards, maybe in a cello bag with a pretty ribbon and a tag, and give it away as a gift that way. So this is a really fun class. So more information can be found if you're interested on stampinpiece.com. And it's also been out in my newsletter, email newsletter. If you're not part of, or not on the newsletter list, you can subscribe to it again on my blog, stampinpiece.com. Stampinpiece.com is kind of, what do I want to say? Kind of like the catch-all for everything. Any of the Facebook Lives I do are there, notices about classes to go, information about promotions, that sort of thing. So stampinpiece.com and my newsletter are the 2 best sources for both creative inspiration and Stampin' Up! News. All right, today we're going to be casing a card. Does everybody know what case means? I'm sure you've heard of it, even if you don't know what it means. But case, C-A-S-E, stands for copy and share everything. So basically what that says is when somebody puts an idea or a project out there in internet world and lots of people see it, we're basically giving permission to people to copy it, or to copy it and change up a little bit, or use it as inspiration to make something themselves. So this is a card I received from Pat Drabala on my team in a swap we did recently. You can see it uses the Hippos stamp set. I'm going to do my own version of this card layout. As soon as I saw this, I thought, I love that layout. I'm going to give it a try. So I thought, what a great way to use my swap cards in doing some casing and sharing them with you. But I'm not going to use the Hippo stamp set. I'm going to use something else that I haven't used before today. So I hope you'll really like it. I'm going to flip my camera around now. And when I'm doing that, would you please share this live video and invite others to join us for tonight's creative inspiration and project. The featured stamp set today is this birthday Piggy. I just think these are super cute. Plus I have relatives that farm, and many of them have been or are pig farmers. So this really caught my eye, and I just think it's so cute. And I love all the different little sentiments in here. And they're great sentiments to use with so many other stamp sets. And just fun ways to say happy birthday and thinking about you, that sort of thing. So this is the stamp set I'm going to be using. And once again, this is Pat's card. Now I'm going to show you my sample first, and you can see the similarities and differences. When you case, you don't have to copy exactly. You can, but you don't have to. You can use it as inspiration. You can change up sizes, colors, stamp sets, sentiments, embellishments, whatever. But casing is simply copying somebody's work in that you're going to use their work as inspiration for a project of your own. So let's go ahead and make my version of Pat's card. I've got all my pieces here. I'm going to start by stamping. I'm using Memento ink, and I'm stamping this cute piggy with the birthday cake and the balloon. You know, and I know some people might look at this and think that that maybe this is very childlike stamp set, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be at all. And I even know there are people who collect pigs and different things like that. So please don't limit the ways that you would use this. Now I feel I'm a little too high, am I? All right, and I'm going to do some coloring, of course, because you know I like to do that. I'm going to start with the pig. I'm using my Stampin' blends, and I'm actually using Flirty Flamingo. In a perfect world, Stampin' Up! Would have Stampin' blends for every single one of our, 50 plus colors. But one we don't have one color we don't have in Stampin' blends is Blushing Bride. And I honestly think that would be my choice of pink for these cute piggies. And I felt like I could go two directions, either the Flirty Flamingo and I tried to, this is Flirty Flamingo, and I tried to lighten it up a little bit too with the color lifter. And then this one's Petal Pink, which maybe is, I don't know, a little too yellowy, but neither one is exactly what I want. But you know, that's what creativity is all about. And so I started with the dark shade. I'm filling in with the light. Just going to do this really quickly. Also, please don't ever let coloring be your final decision of whether or not you purchase a stamp set, because many times the ones you're coloring are much easier to color and fill in than you think. And this is one of those sets. I'm going to then use, I'm going to change it from my sample a little bit and pull out, what is this? Fresh Freesia. So I'm going to do the balloon in Fresh Freesia. That's the dark shade, and I'll fill in with the light. When you're using the paintbrush end of the Stampin' blends, you're either very lightly touching the tip to your paper, or you're actually coloring using the side of the brush. I don't Lori, that's a really good question. I don't know why there isn't a Stampin' blend for every single ink pad. I really don't know the answer to that. And there's only a few that we don't have, and I don't know why that is. Perhaps if I can get on a Stampin' Up! Q&A, that's a question I can ask. I'm going to use Daffodil Delight Dark for the flame. I'm using light smoky slate for this little tray or platter that the birthday cake is on. And then I'm actually going to, on my other card, I did a green balloon and then put that fresh freesia on the cake. But instead, I'm going to keep this cake white. And I'm going to give it a pretty sparkly texture. And then I will do a fresh freesia candle that coordinates with that balloon. But you can do whatever you want, of course. I want to fill in some of the ground here. I'm going to pull out some scrap paper. And I'm now using Crumb Cake Dark. And I'm just going over those dots and filling in. Whoops, I want to use the paintbrush end for this. Oh, Tanya, you had some rain in Illinois. I wonder if it's moving towards Ohio. I could have sworn I heard a storm siren a little while ago, so I looked up online news for my area and there was nothing, so I don't know what I was hearing. Now, one thing I'm going to do, and I don't know if you notice it, but let me hold these up. Do you notice a difference from this pig to this one? Just the overall picture. Can you see on this one how I put just a little bit of shadow around to help kind of ground it a little bit? I'm going to do the same thing with this. When you do this shadow kind of thing to kind of sort of lift the focal point, I guess is the way I like to say it, give it more dimension, choose a very light color. I like to use light Pool Party. You could use light Smoky Slate or light Crumb Cake, light Gray Granite. I'm looking here, light Seafoam, soft Seafoam, just something like that. And look at the difference when I add this little bit of color around the outside edges. I learned this tip from another demonstrator, and honestly, I don't remember who. I learned it a long time ago, and I wish I could remember who I learned it from, because I always like to give a shout out to others if I can. That's the great thing about our Stampin' Up! Community. It's really a community of sharing and caring and learning and growing together. I'm also going to put it on the balloon, just a little shadow up there. Okay. And I'm going to leave it at that. One more thing you could do if you want to give it some more, well, let's do it. Let's just do it. Give a little more dimension here is to do some blending of the background. Wow, so many of you on tonight. Thank you so much for being here. And thanks also to those of you who shared. And I'm going to go real light. I'm using the Pool Party ink pad, but I'm going super, super light. And remember, when you're blending, it's always best to start on a piece of scrap paper, start blending, and then move your blending brush to the cardstock piece that you're adding color to. It's very, very subtle. And it's also good to start out subtle because you can make it darker by adding more and more layers with more blending. So do you see the difference here? It just makes that Piggy and all the elements pop a little bit more. All right, so let's put the card together, and I'll also give you some dimensions to work with. Again, that was Pool Party. I think I mentioned that. And Pool Party ink pad for blending, and then a light Pool Party Stampin' blends for creating that shadow. Remember too that when you are using Stampin' blends, coloring with Stampin' blends, you want to use Memento ink. I don't always, but 98% of the time I do. It's just the recommended ink to use with alcohol markers, all right? Okay, set that aside and let's put our card together. I'm using a basic white thick cardstock for my base. Standard size 5.5 by 8.5. Score it at 4 1/4 on the long side. Then I'm going to put this piece of basic gray in the center. This measures 5 1/4 by 3.5 inches. Now you can see from mine to Pat's, I used a little bit longer piece of the gray. She wanted a more narrow border showing there, and I wanted it to stand out a little bit more. So again, there's no right or wrong either way, but I am casing and I took my inspiration from that. So this is 5 1/4 by 3.5. You can always play with the dimensions and see if you'd like to change it up at all. Okay, then I have a piece of basic white that measures 4 inches by 4.5, 4 by 4.5. Now you could do without this piece, but I really like to have this piece underneath to just help me get these rectangles placed correctly. All together, all straight, no gaps, okay? So this is acting as my guide. You don't have to use it, but I find it helpful. So these strips are 4 inches by 1.5. And I like to start by placing the top and bottom pieces first, and then the middle piece last. Multi-purpose glue is a good one to use here if you need to move those strips around at all. It's easy to do. Oh, I can see this bottom one isn't quite to the edge. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to add this to my card front. The other thing with casing, you can also change the direction of your cards. Instead of a vertical card, like Pat's and my sample, I could turn it this way and make a horizontal card. Just whatever your preference is. What would your preference be? to do the vertical card or to do a horizontal one. Sometimes it's fun just to change things up. Do you like one better than the other, or do you like them equally? Horizontal, vertical. Okay. See, it's in, you know, if I would poll all of you, it would probably be a pretty even split, right? It's just a matter of preference. And it may even depend on the image you're using, if it faces a certain direction, if it's longer or shorter or wider, something like that. See, I'm looking here and it's really just about even. Okay, so let's go ahead and make this one horizontal, just to be a little different. When we change up things a little bit, that really helps us become even more creative. And then I'm going to pop up this with some dimensionals. Just about use these up, so I need to cut around the edges. I hope you all are using the edges of your dimensionals, and you can cut up these side ones into teeny pieces too. I use every single bit, okay? I use every single bit. You got to get the most bang for your buck, right? And I'll put this guy right in the middle here. And you know, if I wanted, I could even make this a little more, you know, limit the color combination a little bit more by coloring the details on the cake and the candle and the balloon to match the pieces of cardstock I used here. All right, let's add a sentiment. I should mention that the circle and the banner pieces I'm using are from the Stylish Shapes die set. There are circles, squares, and then these banner pieces. And there's 5 of each shape. Different sizes, but 5 of each shape. Okay, so I need some, where's my ink? I'm not pressing hard, but I want to hold it in place. Sometimes I don't, ooh, see, it wasn't quite even. I'm gonna go, no, I don't even like that one. Oops. I just dropped my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. There, that's much better. And then I'm going to use one of these label dies to die cut it. And I'm thinking that this will just fit. Yes, it does. And you see that? It just fits in there. Now, to make sure that the sentiment stays centered in my die, I'm just going to use some washi tape. I use retired washi tape, old retired washi tape that I have around to do this, to hold dies in place once I have a sentiment or image centered in it. Here's a tip too, if you haven't seen this, you know how it is, trying to find the edge, the end of your washi tape. When I tear mine, I pull it up and then I put my thumb down and I kind of just pull it to the side and tear it that way. So now I always have this little fold there to catch. So I don't have to waste my precious craft time looking for the end of my washi tape. You know, Lori, I agree. It is fun to see the cards made both ways. Like I said, I just like to change things up because I feel like it maybe stretches my imagination and extends the creativity a little bit. And don't forget, before you throw away your scrap, to pull off your die. There's nothing worse than searching in the trash for a die. And I'm speaking from experience, right? Okay, I'm getting off topic for a moment. But I'm going to ask this because I'm getting ready to pull out embellishments. So this is a good time. If you freeze fresh peaches, and I want to freeze them sliced, I will slice them. I'm just curious, do you take off the peel, the skin? Do you peel the skin away of the peach before you freeze them, or do you leave it on? I was looking that up. I have peaches that I have to get in the freezer tonight. And I was looking that up, and honestly, everything I found, they give directions to do it both ways. And I'm just curious how you do it. I would probably be making like cobblers and pies, or maybe putting the peaches over ice cream, that sort of thing. But I'm curious what you would do. Leave the skin on or take it off? Let's scroll too and see if I have any questions that I might have missed. Okay, I don't think I saw any there. Oh, I see some fun piggy emojis. Barbara, you do take the skin off. Tanya, you peel yours. You would peel them. Peel. Okay. All right. I just wondered what the consensus was. So I now want to use add some embellishments. Ooh, this is a hard choice. I already, you know, I don't use these very often. What are these called? Opal Rounds. I don't know. It's a tough choice for me. Both of them would work well. Any thoughts? Iridescent rhinestones or opal rounds? We can do both by putting some on one card and some on the other. So why don't we do that? I'm going to use the medium and small iridescent rhinestones for my sample card. Both. Okay, Barbara, you're like me. It's a tough choice, isn't it? Look how pretty that is. And I love that the iridescent rhinestones pick up the other colors in your project. But let's give these opal rounds a try. These have been around for a while, and I guess I kind of forgot about them because I haven't really been using them. And you can even see I even tried coloring some with a balmy blue. I believe it was balmy blue. What do I want to say? Stampin' blend. Balmy blue Stampin' blend. And just to give it a little color, I think I was making like a snow project or card soon. Tanya, that sounds good. Fresh peaches and Michigan blueberries. That sounds wonderful. So these are the Opal Rounds. And these come in 2 sizes, where the others come in 3. And I'm having a hard time picking these up. All right, what do you think? What do you think? All right, so here is my, or both of my birthday Piggy cards that I made by casing this Hippest Hippo card made by my friend and team member, Pat Drabala. One thing also I wanted to mention here, again, we're casing. I changed up the sizes a little bit. On her strips, the top and bottom are 1 1/4 by 1 3/4. And I made all of mine the same size, 1 1/2. Okay. Lori, as far as removing dies from the cardboard, and I like to put mine on magnet sheets, but I'm behind on doing that, as you can see. But one thing I will do at times is, if it's having a tough time pulling it up, I'll even bend the cardstock a little bit and pull it up that way. Here's some I haven't taken off yet. If I'm having a hard time pulling them this way, I just bend the cardstock a little bit, because then I can get closer to that tape that's holding it on. All right. Okay, if you would like to be entered into my drawing to win this card made during the Facebook Live, please comment "this birthday Piggy." Okay, type that in the comments now. Lori, no, you'll be fine. You just bend back the cardboard, so you won't be bending the metal, and just bend it close to where the tape is. All right, so please type in the comments now, "this birthday Piggy." I do want to tell you one thing, and this is kind of exciting. Next month, customers can purchase some additional dies that Stampin' Up! has what do I want to say, designed, had made, to go with some of our stamp sets in the annual catalog that do not have dies. They're just sold as single stamp sets, no die and no punch. All right, so it'll be in September, the month of September only, and I assume they'll be while supplies last. I'm not sure about that. I don't think it'll be an ongoing thing, but there will be dies to go with this stamp set. Also, what's the Apple Orchard? I'm trying to think. I think there's about 5 or 6. So that's something to watch for. I did order a couple of them today, because of course Stampin' Up! Demonstrators get to pre-order new products the month before. So I did place the order for this, Oh, and if you don't already own the stamp set, like I already own the stamp set, so I just bought the dies, those exclusive dies that they're coming out with. If you don't own the stamp set, but you want the stamp set and the dies, you can buy them as a bundle. So that's a nice savings too. So they will give you the choice. You can buy those separately or together. So look for that coming in September. Okay, September. So it's a fun thing. In fact, I've been wanting the Apple stamp set. What's it called? It's just, I don't know, it's just a neat one. See if I can find it really quickly here. You would think I would know this catalog by heart. I go through it so often. Do any of you feel that way? If you haven't seen it, I want to draw your attention to it. Oh, and Apple Harvest. I knew it was an Apple Orchard. So page 54. Right here. Isn't this awesome? And I haven't purchased it yet. I thought it would be great, not just for fall, but also teacher gifts. And this, to me, doesn't have to be just apples. This could be peaches, other fruits. So I'm excited because with the demonstrator pre-order and these special dies, I was able to order the stamp set and die bundle. Woohoo, right? Anyways, that is it for this evening. Oh, keep in mind too, that yesterday Stampin' Up! Added new products to the celebration promotion. So there are a few products from the annual catalog that you can now get free with a $50 order this month only. The silver specialty foil paper, the brushed brass or brushed metallic 12 by 12 DSP. There's some embossing folders, the craft boxes. Yeah, a few things. I can't remember right now what else is on there. But so you'll want to take a look at that. And you can certainly see those things on my online store, maryknabe.stampinup.net. And the information also went out in yesterday's newsletter. Okay, everybody, have a wonderful evening. I will not be doing a Facebook Live demonstration on Friday because I will be out of town. So next time I will see you will be on Monday at 2 p.m. Hopefully 2 p.m. My training and other things have been running a little late lately, but that's the plan. All right, everybody, good night and have a good weekend and happy stamping.